How's it going, everybody? Welcome back once again. It is Wednesday night. I'm Al Smizzle. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you guys for tuning in once again. Hopefully you watched yesterday's stream, and hopefully, if you did, you were profitable in your NBA cash games and tournaments last night. I ended up doing pretty well. We're going to break down yesterday's lineup that I had, as well as go over question and answers from the Twitch audience that we have in here today. Subs only, as usual. The chat is always going to be locked to subs only. So if you're watching this on demand on YouTube, please smash that like button and subscribe to that channel if you can. On Twitch, if you want to watch these live, twitch.tv/Al_Smizzle. You guys can get in here and watch them live. Make sure you hit that follow button up above. And if you want to take part in the chat, always lock down to subs only for these NBA and NFL lineup builder shows. You got to subscribe. You can do it completely free. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you can link it to your Twitch account, giving you a Twitch Prime membership with ad-free viewing all over Twitch and a free sub token you can use to sub completely free. You can also get involved with a tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 sub, whatever level you want to get involved in. And as always, every one of these shows is free to view, but it's much better if you jump in here because we also have the Discord chat that goes on pretty much. I get up and at my computer about 7 in the morning. I wake up with my kids. I make lunch for them to go to school. Then I kind of check my emails, and I see the Discord chats already popping at 7 a.m. Pacific time. So it's an all-day thing. We're building a great community over there. Hopefully you guys will choose to be a part of that as well. So let's look at last night's lineup that we had real quick. I only played the one lineup. I played it in the 1K tournament. It went better than expected, obviously, with coming in second. I was in third, and then there was a stat correction. I don't know if Awesome-O came down or if I jumped him because I was playing softball last night. Had a good game, too. We actually won, which we don't normally do with this softball team that I'm on. It's just a good group of friends, good group of guys, but we're in a league that's a little bit above our heads. We ended up winning last night, put together an 8-run inning, and I hit the game-winning home run. So I was very pleased with myself about that, which is odd. I've got like 2 home runs this season, like only. In softball, that's not very good. So I actually laid into one, got past the outfield, and ran my old butt all the way home. So here's the lineup. We started with Spencer Dinwiddie, who yesterday we said was going to be really highly owned. I wanted to get Dennis Smith Jr. here, DSJ. I couldn't afford him, so I dialed back to JJ Barea, who was like 4,000, 4,100. TGO, thank you very much for the new sub. Appreciate you getting involved with the Twitch Prime membership. Kyle Anderson, pretty standard play here with Kawhi out. LaMarcus Aldridge, I've been on him basically all the time, scoring a ton of points for the Spurs this season, much better than he's been last year for them. Al Horford, we knew was the chalk at center on a tough night at center. James Harden, short slate. I'm stuffing the most expensive guy. I'm stuffing the best player in there. I'm going to let everybody else figure out where to get those 60 points from. He was only 65% owned. Yes, it's a tournament. I'm sure he was much higher owned than that in cash, probably about 80% in cash games, but I haven't looked. I'm just guesstimating there. OG Anunoby was the key value play on the night. He was min salary. He's min salary again tonight. We're probably just going to jam him in there again. And then Trevor Ariza was the guy I went with last, and with Tucker missing, that jumped him in and gave him some extra usage, and he pulled up with 37
Twitch
points.
Partner, glad to be a part for the last 5 months. Couldn't think of a better stream to be part of.
Really appreciate that, Boomer. One of the 5-month OGs. We have a new 6-month sub sound and new 6-month sub gif that I cannot wait for somebody to get. You know, I cannot wait for the first person to get to that 6-month sub and really get after it because I think it's hilarious, but that's just me. I'm a silly guy. So let's full screen this and let's get back to the chat page. So what questions didn't I say Ariza yesterday? I said as a last man in, I was fine with Ariza. He, as you could see in my utility spot, he was my last guy, and it was between him and who was the guy that we were comparing him to yesterday? It was Ibaka, and Ibaka had a higher variance between his floor and ceiling. So I said, you know what? I really like the guys that I have in this lineup, and I like their floor. So I'm going to go with the floor guy here that has a possibility of a ceiling if he gets hot, and things worked out for him. UNC beat you to it. You'll be first. Hoffman Jeff, thank you for the new sub. And Shazadat X, thank you very much for the tier 1 sub as well. Ibaka Flappa. See, he can do that. And that's what we talked about on stream yesterday. I kind of talked myself into him. We were talking about that 1v1. Top GPP play on the board under the radar play. I don't know off the top of my head. Maybe a guy like DeLon Wright at 3,400 on DK, but like I don't know about that. OG still viable for cash and GPPs or just cash tonight? If somebody's viable in cash games for me, they're also viable in GPPs. It's not like football where guys typically don't have an upside. If you pay off a value, you can afford the other guys that do have an upside. So NBA, again, and we talk about this every day on stream, that it's kind of a different animal in the way that I view building NBA lineups and building NFL lineups. So NBA lineups, to me, if a guy's got a good floor, he probably also has access to some sort of ceiling. And at 3K, like, he needs 18 to 21 fantasy points. If he gets 24, he's vastly exceeded value for you. If he ends up with like 27 or 28, he's crushing. Favorite shooting guard in the 5K to 6K range. Shooting guard's just dead. Remember how dead center was last night? To me, that's shooting guard tonight. So probably like Dion Waiters at 5,800. J.R. Smith safe in cash. I never think J.R. Smith is safe like in cash ever. Like shooting, I want as minimal exposure to anybody with shooting guard eligibility as I can get tonight. I do not want shooting guards. Like, I want as few as possible. Seriously. Like, they just don't project very well. I mean, Andre Roberson, possibly. Nick Batum, maybe. Any concerns with Embiid? They said he's going to play. He missed shoot around this morning. They're in Los Angeles. Fantastic matchup. I think that a lot of exposure to Philly tonight is going to be expected. A lot of people are going to have a lot of exposure to the Philly players, obviously with Simmons being pretty much a triple-double machine and priced at 9,100 still. His price just doesn't go up. Hosted Radio, thank you very much for the host. I mean, looking at Simmons, he's playing a ton of minutes, right? So on the season, 34 minutes a game. Last 4 games, 32 minutes a game. So that's down, right? Because he had these 2 games here where he didn't play a ton of minutes. But, like, this is ridiculous. His assists are down a lot recently, right? So instead of being the guy on the ball a ton, he's ceding the ball to other guards, and they're letting him just run a little bit. If it's one of those games where he's got the ball in his hand, I don't see the Lakers having any way to slow him down. They're definitely not going to be able to keep him off the boards. Embiid's going to be drawn away from the basket a little bit, guarding Brook Lopez. When Brook Lopez is in, I think that he's a good value play as well. Smizzy is my Mizzy. Thank you very much for the new sub. Appreciate you. Let's celebrate this, guys. I got Pin Monkey, if you guys have seen him, one of the mods in the channel, one of the mods in Discord, has made a bunch of emotes for me. We get like 20 emotes based on the amount of subs that we have right now, which is a massive amount. I think we got like 15. So if you guys want to banter about in Discord about different emotes that you want to see, I've got a bunch coming for you guys to spam in chat instead of just the one Smiz Life emote. So I'm very excited about that. So like Ben Simmons at 9,100 is to me just amazing. Is there a 10K stud necessary tonight? Well, again, we've talked about this before, right? So on a short slate, I want to be sure that I have the super studs, right? On a 10-game slate, 11-game slate like we have tonight, you can get a bunch of different roster builds and be fine. I always tend to skew towards stars and scrubs whenever I can. We know that we have one scrub in Anunoby that we can go with tonight, somebody that's going to be very interesting that we can go with. But there's a lot of mid-range plays that make a lot of sense. To me, it's about chasing the value where you find it. Is Favors still a good play at New York? Price went up a little. It went up a little bit. I think we can still assume that he's going to get a ton of minutes. Studfi, thank you for the 125 bits. Trying to fill the jar up as well. If we get any new subs, they're going to completely blow that away. We should also get new sub emotes. So like if you're a new subscriber, 0 to 3 months, you'll get one emote. If you're 3 to 6, you'll get a different. If you're 6+, you'll get a different badge right next to your name there instead of the purple star. So everybody will have different badges and we'll have a ton of new emotes. So like it's going to be fun now. A little bit more fun than just kind of the blah that we've had. And I'll have all that set up by the next stream on Friday. Spate's a good GPP pump. Domo Jenkins, subscribing 2 months in a row. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Chalmers a lock. If Conley is out, I think Chalmers is good. And I think that Evans becomes a much more palatable play as well. He's fine with him there, but I think he's even better, obviously, because his usage goes up if Conley's out. Chalmers as well. Mills for cash. Maybe. I never like Mills as much as everybody else does. Is Giannis overpriced given the matchup? Giannis is going to do Giannis things. And he's somewhat, he's not matchup dependent. He's not somebody that you really need to fade based on a good team or a bad team, right? Like, yes, Detroit plays a little bit slow. No, I don't think that there's a player in the league right now that's going to be able to slow down Giannis from contributing in all of these stats, right? I don't think anybody's going to be able to do anything about this, right? And he's scoring a ton right now, right? So this game, 55 points, and he only shot 45% from the field. If you look at him on the season, he's shooting 58% from the field. I don't think that's going to be sustainable, but it might. He'll probably end around 56, 55% by the end of the year, just based on the season going on and teams changing how they're going to defend him and putting him into more difficult situations. But his ability to get into spots that he wants to get his shots off, totally fine. T-Bro4192, thank you very much. The 2-month subs. Once again with a tier 1. Paul George or Ben Simmons? Right now I prefer Ben Simmons, but right now Carmelo Anthony is an if-then for me. So if he's out, then obviously Paul George gets a big bump, and so does Westbrook. Black Koba 3 with the 31 bits. You guys know you don't have to like keep copying the bits, right? You can like type in whatever number you want to donate with the bits. So like if you hit like the 1 bit and you want to donate 30, you can just type whatever the thing is and 30 and then a message. And if you donate 500 bits or more or $5 or more, you can have it read out whatever question you want to read out, just like when you have a sub or a resub. You hate playing Kemba? I don't mind playing Kemba, and I definitely don't mind playing Kemba when he's at home. Right? Kemba is somebody that we've talked about this on stream before. We talked about it back when I was on Grinders Live. We talked about it in Best Buy's articles last year. Not Best Buy's, but Daily Plays on ESPN. Kemba, for his career, has ridiculous home road splits. Has always had them. Don't know why. I don't play Kemba on the road. Like, literally never. Like, I just do not. But let's move this. Look at that. 44 fantasy points per game at home, 33 fantasy points per game on the road. Only 2 more minutes. Why is he averaging 1.5 points at home and 1 point on the road? Doesn't make any sense. Don't care. Not playing him on the road. He just shoots better in Charlotte. He can't shoot on the road. Shoots better from deep in Charlotte. Much more efficient player. Translates directly to fantasy scoring. So if Kemba's salary comes down because he played a few road games in a row, which it tends to do, he plays back at home, especially against an inefficient defense like Cleveland. I'm going to want to have shares of him in tournaments. Paying up for 2 centers tonight, since it's a stacked position, or is there value you like there? I think that Brook Lopez is a solid value at center tonight, but I agree with you. There's a lot of centers that project to beat value this evening. Nurkic and, Šarić you can play at power forward, Karl Anthony Towns, Joel Embiid, Miles Turner, the odometer, also projects as a value beating guy. Is Dwight a good GPP play tonight? Dwight, let's take a look. I have not really been playing Dwight a ton this year. His price is right there at 7,200, so not like really all that restrictive, but like, where's the upside? Right? At 7,200, we're looking for like 37 to 42 fantasy points. He averages 35 fantasy points. He's below that, right? And does he have a 50-point game anytime in the last 10? No. So to me, I don't see the upside here versus, not that Vooch is the guy I want to play tonight, but like Vooch is a guy that has similar upside to him recently, has done well in the past. Nurk, somebody who has double upside, has not performed well, but against a softer opponent tonight, right? 46, 47 point upside for 500 left. You have to really, really, really be price sensitive in basketball versus NFL. We saw Favors top value last game at 4,600. You got a bump of 1,000. Joe, thank you very much for the new sub. It's like you just have to be more price sensitive in basketball than you do in NFL. Do I think that DK pricing is soft at this point of the season? No, I just think that NBA lends itself to having price inefficiencies because players are in and out, and they're priced for their fantasy point production per game, which essentially breaks down to how many fantasy points per minute they score and then how many minutes they play. Well, if you take a guy who's priced as a 14 a minute a game guy and all of a sudden he's going to play 26 minutes, he's going to outperform that salary. So that is just baked into the game of NBA, and as players we have to remain nimble, prepare our if-then statements, be ready for news to break, so that if and when it does, we know where we're going to go with that, because everything changes every other thing, right? The flapping of butterflies' wings happens in basketball all the time. You might be on 2-3 value plays all day, and then all of a sudden 1 or 2 guys comes out in the last 30 minutes before lock, and you don't have as much of those original value plays, because now there's new ones that project to be even higher because somebody was out and now they're playing a ton. Gasol and DKGPP and Cash, like I said, at center today is almost like first base in baseball all the time, right? Where you don't need to fall in love with one of them, because there's so many that look like they can meet, exceed, or just completely crush value tonight, that you may want to just leave. You might want to plug one that you really are in love with today. And then if you want to use another one in utility, fine, but don't fill it in first, right? We talk about how to go about building a lineup for NBA. You pick your 3 values that you want, guys that are like 4,900 and below on DraftKings, right? Pick 3 guys in that range. So like probably Anunoby is going to be in everybody's lineup tonight, and then pick 2 others. Whether it's Charic or McConnell or what, I don't care. Pick 3 of those guys. Plug them in, preferably in the point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, or center spots. Then pick 2 studs that you want, 8K plus. Guys that you want in that range that you feel you must have tonight. They're in the best scoring environment. They have a high total. They've got a soft DVP matchup, whatever. Plug those 2 guys in, then see what you have left and find the highest raw projected total of those 3 players, no matter how the salary breakdown goes between those 3 guys. If you do that, I think that you'll be successful, or have a path to being more successful in cash games more consistently if you go about that. That's how I've been successful over the past 6 years in daily fantasy basketball. That's how I continue to build lineups today. Much like my process for NFL, it's different in the process that I go about building, but it is a process that is specific to this game. If Conley's out, does Mario become one of the better value plays in the night? Yes. Smizzlepalooza Sunday NFL party in LA. Make this happen. You know, I've wanted to do like a get together like that. Maybe we'll do one for the playoffs in Los Angeles. Like I'll rent out a room at like one of the sports bars that I used to go to, and like we'll just kind of watch football and have food, and you know, you guys can drink some beers and we'll all just hang out. Also, this weekend, we'll talk about this off stream. Never mind. We'll talk about this like after the YouTube recording. Who guards LeBron tonight? I don't care. I never worry about who's guarding LeBron. I worry about who's guarding like players that can't create their own shot against anybody. LeBron, Antetokounmpo, Durant, I don't care who's guarding them. Thoughts on Ennis? I think he's fine, but I'm not thrilled about him. Thoughts on Dylan Brooks? Same thing. I like him better if Conley is out. Thoughts on Tyreek for cash if Conley plays? I think he's borderline if Conley plays. Not somebody I'm really thrilled about. If Conley's out, then obviously he takes a big jump. Is Nick Batum too risky to utilize tonight coming off injury for his first game of the year? He does get a lot of usage in the Hornets offense. I agree with you, and chips in a lot of different places. Not a guy who necessarily needs to score a ton of points for him to reach fantasy viability. He chips in with assists. He hits a couple of 3-pointers. Obviously that's scoring, but it's something he doesn't have to create for himself. It's off ball rotation most of the time. Gets some rebounds, a steal, and a block here or there. So I don't mind him, especially at the price that he's at. Simmons, Embiid, and Charic and Cash. Not against that, surprisingly. LeBron, the top stud. I kind of want to say Westbrook is for me. I like Westbrook. I like Embiid. I'm never going to fade Antetokounmpo. I like Simmons a lot. I think Towns is good as well. Aaron Gordon bounce back. He's fine. Do I think Batum will have minutes limited tonight? I don't know, and I'm still going to be looking into that after lineups lock. I'm going to be reading a lot of the Charlotte beat writers to see what they have to say, because obviously I'm not there in that shoot around and I don't know what they know, so we rely on them. We have to stand on their shoulders. Taking a stand, fading Kemba. I'm not going to play Kemba in my main lineup probably, but I'm probably going to have some exposure. Like if I go like 100 lineups, I haven't even decided if I'm doing 100 lineups. Tonight on DraftKings, I had that big 888 tournament. I've entered that 3 times. And I don't know if I'm going to do like multi-lineup tonight. Like, I'm still kind of feeling a little bit under the weather, so, like, I don't know if I want to put that stress, and today is Wednesday, so, like, I'm still in the middle of writing Best Buys. So, like, I just kind of want to, like, crush Best Buys, wait till the final 30 minutes before lock, make those 3 lineups, and just roll, kind of like I did last night. I wasn't going to be here to watch the game, so I played the 1 lineup. If I play full, I'll put my 100 lineups in the other 2 tournaments, but they may be sold out by the time I make that decision. Batum is starting but on a minutes restriction, right? But like how many minutes? Because his fantasy points a minute has been solid on his career, but how many minutes do you project him to play? Like what are they saying like a 20-minute limit? Are they saying a 28-minute limit? Charlotte beat writers saying they'd be surprised if he gets 10 plus minutes each half. So let's say what, like 20-minute limit? Fine. So he averages like what, 1.05 fantasy points a minute roughly in that offense. So yeah, I think he's not going to reach value if he only plays 20 minutes. If he plays 28, then yeah, he will. But again, not sure he's going to play 28. Been riding Ish Smith for value. Rather him or Anunoby? You mentioned him yesterday. You'd rather jam 100% of a punt over studs. Is Anunoby that guy again? I typically don't jam 100% of studs, but I will jam a high percentage of a player if he's a value play. Like if there's a value play that just looks like this guy is minimum salary is going to play 27, 28 minutes, I'm more likely to have like 80% of that guy across my lineups, because if he fails, he's not going to fail huge, right? If he plays those minutes and doesn't reach value, he's going to get like 14 points. It's hard to be on an NBA court for 28, 29 minutes and not do enough things to score like 15 fantasy points, even though we need 18 to 22 for value out of him. If he misses, it's a lot like punting a quarterback or punting at tight end. If that punt tight end that's 3K gets you like 7 fantasy points, is it helping you? No. But is it hurting you in cash games? Most definitely not. Am I worried about Embiid's minutes coming off 35 Monday? I never expect 35 minutes for Embiid. I'm probably expecting his typical 28 to 31. KCP or Chris Dunn the better value on DK Cash? I think that Chris Dunn is the better value. Brandon just got out of class, ready for some research? Exactly, man. Let's get after it. Unless that value plays Iman Shumpert. Never Shump. Hashtag never Shump. I told you guys this on a stream last week when you're like, should we play Shumpert tonight? Is Shumpert the value? Hashtag never Shump. Unless everyone is out. Unless it's one of those nights that Love and J.R. Smith and LeBron James and all of them are out, and Shump's going to get like 35 minutes and like a 25% usage, then fine. Then you can Shump. Until then, never Shump. Thoughts on Love for GPPs? I like it for GPPs. Is Portis a good GPP spot? I don't have a handle on Portis yet. I don't have a handle on the Bulls, to be very honest with you. Like, they just seem to be all over the place all the time. When you make it to the next round of King of the Beach, gift it to me and Gypsy777 to represent you in Miami. I was going to talk about this off stream, but since you bring it up, I have 2 entries in the King of the Beach. Wired777, thank you for the new sub. Derek Hine! You got to give him the old gif. His favorite gif. For joining the 2 Comma Club. Thanks for being here, brother. Appreciate you. I am going to, if I make the final 50, it's a 180-man tournament. You got to make the final 50 to qualify for the finals 2 weeks after. I'm going to put together a tournament in Discord for people that are interested, because, and we'll do it for like, you know, whatever. All you got to do is get yourself there. Like the finals are in the Keys. One, I got to qualify. If I qualify, I will give that away to one of our subscribers who wants to participate in this thing to represent me. If I get both seats in, then I'll give away 2 packages to go to the Keys for a weekend to do the King of the Beach and represent me there as my proxy. And we'll figure it out. All you got to do is get yourself there. So, like, don't play in those tournaments. Don't enter them if you can't make it. You know, if you're like, well, I live in Wisconsin and I can't get down to Miami, but I wanted to play the tournament anyway. Be honest with yourselves. If you can go, like, if I make it, you know, I will do it as long as you guys can get yourselves there with a plane ticket. You know, if you live in Florida, just drive, whatever. But, you know, let's figure it out. Because, like, I can't go to that one, so I will give it to one of the subscribers. We'll have, like, a fun little subscriber-only tournament through the Discord for that. Charge OG and Dunn as value plays for GPPs. Yeah, I like all 3 of those guys. Dakari Johnson, good value play against the Bulls' Bigs defense. Yes, assuming he starts again. Put the details in Discord. Well, I mean, okay. I have to qualify first. Like this weekend, week 11 in NFL is 180 people. It's basically a triple up to get to the finals. You got to finish in the top 50. I have 2 lineups in that. If 1 gets in there, we'll do 1 package giveaway. If 2 gets in there, we'll give 2. If I don't qualify, I can't give anything away. I do think that somebody was putting together a Discord tournament for NBA tonight. So jump in the Discord channel. I think it's in the subs NBA channel. And you can catch up with that one. No worries. CJ Miles and OG in an 11-game slate for cash works for jam him in. If that's the path that you have and you have CJ Miles exceeding value for tournaments, then fine. OG is going to be really highly owned, and I'm fine with it. Like, I was on board last night. I'm on board again tonight for him. Thoughts on Spades? Didn't hear my answer earlier. I haven't made up my mind on Mo. You know, I think he should be a good value tonight. He's min salary, and he does have upside because of his scoring ability. You know, the problem is, how many minutes do you expect him to honestly play? Because that's really the problem. He's not going to be a 28-minute-a-game guy. Like, if he gets 19 minutes, we have to be real happy. But in those 19 minutes, he better be hitting shots. It better be Mo buckets. Is Cantor a good play with Gobert out? I think he's an improved play. He does score, which I obviously like. Did Melo go to shoot around? I do not know off the top of my head. How much do I pay Mubat? Whatever Mubat costs. It's like a monthly fee. Kevin Love in play for GPP? Yes, there is. Yes, he is in play. Is there enough upside to stray away from the other studs at the center position? Yeah, I don't like his positional eligibility. I mean, center is stacked is kind of the problem. You know? Favorite 7K plus center besides Brow and Boogie. 7K plus? Embiid. Embiid. Every night, Embiid. I have Joel Embiid. We must protect Joel Embiid. He is a national treasure. B. Sarekia, thank you for the 100 bits. Do I like Drummond for cash? Really like him today. He's been on fire, right? Like, he's been posting better numbers than at any point during his career. And doing it consistently. Which is the other thing that he has. Like, look at this. 35 points last game because he didn't get the double-double. Would have put him over 40, right? 54, 47, 53, 50. Like, his floor is 35 points now. That's never been his ability to actually go out about and do that on a game-by-game basis. He's always kind of had, like, 60, 30, 45, 38, 52. Like, he's all over. You never know what you're going to get. And anytime he was chalk, he would tend to, like, blow up on you. But this year, very, very consistent. How many Sixers are too many for cash? Well, what's the max? Because I think that a lot of them are going to be very popular. Marathon training to the sweet sounds of Smiz is so bizarre. Derek's out there running around. He just ran like a half marathon. I don't know why anybody would want to run a marathon or a half marathon. I don't want to drive 26 or 13 miles, but he's out there doing it. So, you know, fit DFS life for Derek Hine. Drummond hitting the free throws, so they have to take him off the floor in the floor. That might be a part of it. Davis or Cousins? I've been on Cousins' side of that recently. Simmons or Embiid if I had to choose one for DK Cash. Why are you making me choose between my two boys? Why do I have to choose between my children? I'd probably pick Simmons because center is deeper. I can find another Simmons that can do... I can find another center that can do Embiid things. I can't necessarily find another $9,000 player that can do what Simmons can potentially do. I guess would be the best way to put that. Embiid and Simmons in GPP, not sure the correlation. There's not really correlation issues in NBA. I mean, think about this. How many times a game does Embiid get fed by Ben Simmons around the rim and you get the assist and the bucket? The ones that sucks is when he gets fouled and it rolls off the rim and you don't get the assist. Now Embiid has to shoot free throws. It's like you missed out on the 2 points, the 1.5 points, the possibility to get him closer to a double-double or a triple-double, and you miss the and one free throw. You know, like you have to earn that free throw. So now you just 2 free throws. Like you lose massive points every time they don't finish the shot. 5.1K left at shooting guard. Is KCP the way to go? I don't hate that. For 5.1K, Taurean Prince is in play. Rodney Hood, JJ Redick is in play. Not Batum. I think all those guys are fine. Chris Dunn GPP play. He's getting the start tonight. I think he's fine. Dakari Johnson punt. Also think he's fine. Taj OK in cash. I have not played Taj in cash once this year. What's the draw? And I'm not saying that sarcastically. I honestly, like, because I've seen a lot of it. He's 4,900. He's going to play a ton of minutes against San Antonio. Yeah. Again, a guy that I think is fine, but not very much ceiling. I don't see a 40-point game out of Taj Gibson, but, like, I get it if you're just like, I need a mid-range guy and he's left. right? If you have a utility spot and he's there, like I view last man in guy differently than other people view last man in guy. Where like I really focus on that first 5. 3 value plays, 2 studs over 8K. Then I pick the rest of the guys. And then if I have that one guy left, I look for the highest raw projection for the salary I have remaining. And a lot of times it's somebody who is not even on my radar all day long. It's just, well, he's the guy that's left over. Thoughts on Rondo with a minutes restriction? Probably not going to play him. Do I like Donovan Mitchell? I think the kid is electric and has to score. You know, like they rely on him to score, and that's his greatest weapon. And he gets time against other teams' second units who don't defend as well as other teams' first units. I think he's fine. Saric better than Gibson? Yes, I have Saric ahead of Gibson tonight. Kemba or Beal tonight? Give me Kemba because he's at home. Beal's awesome, though. He gonna shoot. Yep. Thoughts on Scal? Inconsistent. Scal is like Marquise Chris that's better. He's a better version of Marquise Chris. Really high ceiling, hyper athletic, really good player, but massive gap between his floor and his ceiling. Plus, Knicks don't defend the three-point line. Also true. Thoughts on Whiteside? Tons of centers tonight, guys. There's a lot of centers out there tonight. Yeah, Beal for GPP. Exactly. Anybody that can put up 30 real-life points in a game, and Beal can do that, especially with the three-point bonus on DraftKings, you have to consider for GPPs on any night, especially on nights where they're going to be low-owned. I'm not talking about 30 fantasy points. I'm saying he can actually score 30 on-court points. Not a lot of guys that can do that at less than 10%. PG-13 smash again, most definitely if, like, I think he's in play now, and I think he's not a lock, but he's somebody that, like, is going to be really highly owned if Anthony's out. Like, even higher owned. Nurk or Cantor for GPP. I think Nurk will be higher owned, so give me Cantor. I think Nurk is the better point per dollar play. What's my favorite game to load up on in tournaments on this big slate? I mean, I guess Lakers-Celtics, or Lakers-Sixers. I think Charlotte-Cleveland's sneaky, though. Like, not a lot of people are going to stack that game. Like, if you want to get, like, 4 or 5 dudes from that game and find a way, you might be able to backdoor some tournaments based on low percentage and low combination percentage of players that you're going to have in your lineups. PG-13 or LMA? Give me PG-13, even though I've been on the LMA train all season long. I still like LMA tonight. Redick as a salary reliever? Yes. Favorite Laker tonight? Brooke? Probably Lopez. I also like Clarkson tonight. Any interest in Ingram? Another guy who's up and down. I think Ingram's only a GPP play for me. If at that. Over under on how many Twitter fights I get into tonight? See, that's the thing. Like, I don't start these Twitter fights. People just come at me and then I quote tweet them and then they go bonkers. Most of the people that like try to get after me on Twitter are muted. So like the only way I see them is if other people start replying to them and I see the name of somebody that I know is muted. Like I see like half of a conversation going on in my mentions. And then like I say, okay, my curiosity gets the best of me. Okay, what's going on here? You know? But realistically speaking, most of the people that bark at me, I don't even see it. I love that Bill's Mafia Twitter was all over me today for like whatever reason. Because I made a joke, a good joke this morning. And Bill's Mafia Twitter went nuts. Kyle Anderson for cash. What's his price today? Because he's been somebody that I've been just going after in cash constantly. 4,500. Yeah, I still think you can play him. Yeah. Definitely still playable in cash at 4,500. Played him last night. He just lives in this range, right? He just kind of lives between 20 and 30 points. 20 and 30 points every single night. And we need 26.5 points out of him to reach value. Like, again, if he misses, not by much, not by much. If he exceeds, ain't going to be by much either. You don't have very much ceiling here. But he's also a guy that's probably not going to give you like a 12-point output either. Just based on the offense that they run. Does a Deng injury boost Cat or Gibson more? Deng does not affect Cat's usage. It affects Gibson's minutes and it affects Gibson's usage and rebounding rate. Butler seems too cheap. Usage up lately. He's bugged me all season on this team. Just bugged me all season on this team. He's had a couple of really good games. Let's look into it, right? Bad shooting in this game, still had 44 fantasy points. I like that, right? Got to the free throw line a lot more. So, and I have not watched the way they've been playing, and I don't know if he was just standing around the three-point line. He's been more aggressive at getting to the rim recently, which is kind of what it looks like in these situations in these two games. I'll have to go back and watch those games to find out. But if he's being the attacking Jimmy Butler, if he's getting, if he's going off the bounce and trying to get to the rack and creating free throw opportunities for himself, then awesome, because he needs to chip in these categories: rebounds, assists, blocks, steals, and he really hasn't been consistently this season doing that or getting a ton of shots consistently to score the amount of points he needs for his value. He needs to get you to 40 points. Like, I need a floor of like 36 points from somebody at 7K. 35, 36 points. I need to be able to get up to 45, 50 points, realistically speaking. He's doing that now. He was not doing that before, especially during this stretch in here. Like, this was a very disappointing stretch, and he was priced 75, 73, 71. So we talk about you have to be very price sensitive in NBA. Down at 67, 6,900, it makes a big difference from 7,500. Even though it's only 600 salary dollars, that's a lot in NBA. It allows you to upgrade one more player. It allows him to have a little bit of a softer landing spot for his floor. It gives him more room to have a ceiling game and exceed value. So, like, yeah, I'm okay with Jimmy Butler. I don't think he's a cash game play tonight, especially at shooting guard only. I do believe that he's a solid tournament play, especially based on the fact what I can read into his game logs and how he's been playing. Thoughts on Chalmers, Tyreek Evans, if Conley's out? I like both of them, if he's out. Can you play Dunn and Valentine both in cash? I don't think you need to. Did I touch on Vonleh yet? I have not touched on Vonleh yet. I really don't have an opinion on him. Lonzo, a good fade in 20 max? Maybe, but like, I kind of think that there's something to the fact that these guys are going to go at each other, that him and Simmons and Embiid and all the young guys are going to kind of go at each other. Like, I want a little bit more shares of Lonzo in a game like tonight than I would in a game against a veteran team that's going to try and shove him around. I think that he will have more freedom tonight than he's had in other games. I wonder if his shot's going to go down, just like always, because it hasn't been recently. J.R. Smith has been good in this new rotation. Am I down with him in cash? I rarely play J.R. Smith in cash. I'm the wrong guy to talk to about J.R. Smith in cash. Redick, Simmons charge a dumb 3 stack for the Sixers. No, not dumb at all. I like those 3 tonight. Valentine for GBP, definitely. Julius Randle sneaky, yes. I'll take a couple more questions and we'll end the YouTube video. Thoughts on Markieff, still cheap? Yeah, I think that if his minutes are going to be 26, we're fine. Lowry or Kemba in cash, I'll take Kemba. Once again, Kemba's home road splits, exactly what I'm looking for all the time. Don't you think that Anunoby's production last night was a bit fluky? 3-pointers boosted his productions. They did, but I want those minutes at that price. Because essentially, the pricing came out before everything happened, so like he probably would be about 3,700 today, and he's not. So that's it. Mass Cabana, congratulations on the Twitch partnership. Thank you very much, guys. We're going to have about 15 or 20 emotes for you for the NFL stream question and answer on Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. So definitely be here for that. Appreciate all the support. You guys are what made that Twitch partnership possible for me. I appreciate all the support and all the traffic in these streams and on YouTube. If you're still watching on YouTube, take a second, click that like button, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe before you get out of Dodge. And we'll see you guys on Friday for the NFL question and answer. And if I don't win a GPP tonight, I hope that one of you guys do. Bye, everybody.